Hello, hello, hello. Good evening. I'm a bit late today. And yes, and so I'm still posting some information and tweeting about the stream of today. But I'm pretty much done. Just missing a few places. But yes, I'm here. You there? Because I'm here. Okay. It's a good Thursday evening, and what we're gonna do, we are gonna expand on what we did the previous days, which was to allow and say fighting, the basic fighting and combat with melee weapons. We have to expand on that and do two things. First thing, to play better the animations, and second thing I want to do is to have NPC fight back. So I think it's fair. I can kill them. They should be able to kill me. So that is the plan. This is the plan for today. I think we have most of the basic system in place. The difference is that now we have, let's say, removed the automatic attacks because we wanted the player to actually click to attack and not having a sequence of automatic attacks. And obviously this now is not really helpful for the NPC side because the NPC cannot click. Right? So we need anyway to have timed event or a sequence. Right? So I think we should put back the sequence all in case is an NPC. And should be relatively easy, I think, because we already have all the infrastructure for that. We need, yes, I think we have all the infrastructure. Should not be too hard, actually. Hello, Sway. How are you? Let me check what kind of chat I have open. So at the moment we are streaming on YouTube and on Twitch at the same time. So you can go in the place that you prefer. So let's recap what we are doing. This is a bit of the picture that we used the previous days. What we are doing, yes, the combat mission, which is probably one of the hardest missions that we had. Probably second to the actual code porting of some of the core functions, because that was very, very hard, I can tell you. Anyway, very time consuming. And at the moment, let's say we need to add a new mission, because we did the mission of left click, call server and get results. So this one is completed. Now we need a new mission, and the new mission will be, well, first of all, the death animation, but basically I have it already. I just need to double check a few things, and the death animation should be fine. Death animation when killing, well, it's not when killing an NPC, it's in general when someone dies, because I think that animation is triggered in the same place. Yeah, so I would say that animation when a character dies, I mean, irrespective of the fact if it's a spell or if it's melee or if it's whatever. And then the other mission we would like to have is the only problem would be the chase, because the NPC is not chasing me yet. So we have two missions, let's say, basic missions that we want to do. When attacked, start to chase. When an NPC is attacked, start to chase the player. Okay, and yes, that's something we want to do, and I think we have kind of done maybe somehow. I mean, we have the pieces, we have the basic pieces. I think we can complete it, and then the next one will be let's say have the NPC fight back, right? have the NPC fight back. Then on top of that, we can add, you know, additional logic, like when the NPC is low health, he may flee, or he may go to defensive mode, or I don't know. We have a bunch of other stuff that we can do in the future, but again, at the moment we are just trying to put in the basic systems of every function of the game, and then we can specialize them, improve them as we go, right? So that's the current goal. Okay, so let me see who is with us. Who is with us? Hey, if you're joining, just say hello. That would be nice. And okay, so what do we need to do that? What do we need to do? Okay, so let's go and check where we are in terms of the death animation. So for the animation, I discovered something that I think is pretty easy to use, and I think I would like to use it more and more. So the way I was multicasting to all the players was to actually do it by code, and so to have a loop on all the player controllers server side, check their phone, and from their phone actually call the let's say call the function, right? Call the function client side. The problem of that, so the advantage of that, of doing it by code, is that you can filter the players based on whatever rule you want. So it can be range, it can be I don't know, their status, it can be anything. It can be if he's an NPC or a player and such. So doing it by code, I think is definitely more flexible. Doing it by the standard Unreal multicast is, let's say, a bit easier, so you don't have to write down any code. You can just call the multicast after you ensure that the message is sent and replicated server side, right? And so, for example, now for all the animations, what we do for the die animation, for the walk animation, not for the walk, for the attack animation, we use this multicast in the blueprints. It was just a way to test another way, you know, because we are still investigating, say, the best way to do things in the engine, and so sometimes I'm just testing something new. And so in this case, what we did was to to have something like this. So in the die animation, if you see, this die animation is coming from the server side, and we are just calling this other one, which is replicated to all server side. So, and this one is the one that is set as multicast. If you see here, is multicast. So basically says replicates this event from the server to everyone else. Server execute this event locally too. Only call this from the server. Yeah. So you have to be on the server side, and then you can call the multicast, and the server itself is executing it, which for us is anyway good, because we want, for example, for some animations to recalculate the player position. Okay, so so now what? So what we do is this sequence, and then we are setting the mesh. One thing that I wanted to check is if we have to use this anim instance, because I tested it before, and this animation instance is actually not working as expected. This one is a variable that we set on the character that is I think is set in the begin play, right? It's set in the begin play, but for some reason it's not working. I see why it's not working here. because this is doing it only for players. Okay, so all of this is done only for players, so that's why it's not triggering. I should be careful about this because okay, ensure this is a player and not an NPC. So what this is doing is exactly doing this check, and that's the reason why in my NPC the pointer to an image, no, an im instance was empty, right? That's the reason why it was empty. Okay, so that's good to know. This is something that we can fix. Now, at the moment, let's say the setup is very simple for this part of the code. So I would say also it's a bit hard-coded because, for example, if you look here, we have an explicit cast to the CRAN animation blueprint, while we obviously don't want to have this, but we want to have it on our character blueprint, which is then calling the different animations, you know, based on the specific race. So there is something I think we can do later on. I don't think we should do it now, but it's something to keep in mind. Okay, so maybe I put a note here, but this should be generalized for any PS characters, for any PS character blueprint. I think we should put it in PS character blueprint and not to CRAN and generalize it. I don't know if I can put it in another color. I think there was a way to color this. How do I color this? How do I color it? Boys! There it is, common color. Just here. Let's put it in kind of red, so is something that, you know, we can easily see as a problem. Okay. Maybe also put some yeah, some exclamation points. Okay, so just remember that this thing should go away, should not stay like this. But for now it's fine. Okay, so for now it's fine. So we will keep this one like this, and then we will have before doing this, wait a second, let me update and see if we got any new files, because I don't want to start from an unclean. No, it seems that we didn't. Okay, so we already have the latest up-to-date SVN version. Okay, nice, very good. So we can save this, checking out from SVN, and what we can do, we can, by the way, this stream is stream 99. 99. Can you feel the 100 coming? I can feel it. It's one stream away from 100. Wow. Okay, so this one we save, and in our CRAN character I don't care. So when we manage the animations, which is here, now we can always use this mesh and animated instance and set alive to false. So this will make the character die, right? So if we test this, if we go in the script, let's launch it normally. I don't think we need to debug that, but I think there is still something we need to do for the weapon speed and all of that, because it's yeah, maybe we can do that tonight. We can also have, let's say, a more realistic effect when you hit and when you miss. I mean, visual. Well, visual will mean sound. Yeah, we mean sound and maybe a small particle. That would be nice. Because I mean, I don't want the people to read the text. Actually, I think the text should go away. Now we have it for compatibility, but I don't think that anyone, when he's fighting, is like reading the text, right? I don't think so. I don't think anyone will read the text. I mean, I still like to have it somehow because at the moment it's helping me to debug, but in the future I think it makes no sense. Time of the day is obviously night, huh? As usual. Okay, so the way we do it, we just target this guy and we just hit him, and since we make 1 million damage because we boosted ours in the database, we should it dodged our attack. I don't know how, but it dodged our attack. So we will try again. Holy crap, the freaking collision detection. The freaking collision detection is now the problem is that when this happens, I think that the character, I should disable collision detection between players, by the way. I think it makes no sense to have it. But I think when he's here, you know, he's not really here. So he's still, for the server, for some reason, he's still, yes, he's still there. In fact, it tells me you are too far away to attack. So we have to fix that, because at the moment, I think if we remove collision detection anyway, we will be fine. But I think that at the moment, for the server, the character is still here. In fact, you see, I'm colliding with it. I'm colliding with it. So at the moment, the character is still here for some reason. In fact, so we will not see him dying if we kill him. Yeah, now it died, but we didn't see it because yeah, I have to disable collision detection anyway between players, which anyway is something that we don't want, right? We don't want collision detection between players or within monsters. We don't want it. Hello, Sway. You said I'm gonna try to make a draft of all the animation speed types. Okay. I have to fix the targeting error before I commit. Okay, nice. Yes, I don't know. Did you see what Davide said on the Discord? Because I think it's relevant. So he's thinking that maximum, let's say, 2 seconds should be. I mean, 2 seconds should be kind of the limit, you know, of the time it takes to do an attack, and in general should be 0.5 or 1 second. So in general, yes, 1 second, 1 second 0.5 at the maximum, so something like that. So I think we should I think when you get used to your character anyway, you will get a good feeling of the hits. And if they improve even just by 0.1 seconds, I think you will feel it. I think you will feel the difference. Ranging from 15 to 60 frames. I don't know, assuming we are playing it at 60, I think we are playing it at 30, right? At 30 FPS, so yes. Yes, between 15 and 60, which is between 0.5 and 2 seconds, yes. Yes, I think something like that would be okay. And then what I would like to do, I would like to ensure that we schedule the event on the server with the same timing of the animation. So I will know that this weapon is 0.5 seconds, and so I would schedule the event to trigger after that time, and so it will be exactly in sync, you know, with the animation. So I will play the right animation and schedule the event to have the same time. And so, okay, let's try to kill this guy. Boom, he died, you see? Okay. So the death animation is playing okay. That animation is playing okay. We don't collide with him, but I don't think we care. I don't think we care about colliding with this character. So again, I think we should remove collision detection. Collision, yes, between characters. So the death animation works. Now, what bothers me a bit is still the fact that we are triggering our animation only after 2 seconds. And it is a bit annoying. I think we should trigger it immediately. By the way, it takes forever. I don't know why it takes so much. I think it takes 5 seconds at the moment to schedule the freaking thing. I think it takes 5 seconds. But let me just check if for the Falcon we have in the database. I think I changed it, right? I changed it from weapon speed. I changed it from 4 to... No, it's still 4? Okay, if it's still 4, then it feels like 4. I think we should change it to 2 seconds. Because 4 seconds is very annoying. Yes, let's do 2 seconds in the database. Okay, and the other thing I want to do, I want to schedule it when I trigger the attack. Okay, even if this should be a minimal check, like I'm not freezed or something like that, because I may be freezed, so I should not be able to attack. But let's say that there is a kind of an advanced check that we will do later on. So how do we trigger the attack animation immediately? Well, I think what we should do is when we have our event, when we receive, because we receive the event, right? Let me search for this one, finding reference to this one. Right, exactly. So this is our combat result. So in this case, we will not play this anymore, right? We will not play the animation attack anymore here. We will play it when we schedule the attack. So this one, I will remove it and I will place it. Request attack PC, there it is. Now I still feel it's kind of a 1 second off. I have a strong feeling that it's still 1 second off. I don't know why, but I have this. I mean, it seems to me like it was 4 seconds in timing, but actually it felt like 5 seconds. So I don't know if there is any other delay going on in between, but so yeah, we want to play the animation attack immediately, and the target should be the character blueprint, which is me, so this one is already okay. Yes. And then here what we would like to do before this is to call the server and check which animation we should play. Right? At the moment we only have one animation, but as soon as we have more animations we will do a check here and I think that this will already feel a bit more natural. Right? This change will already make it. I just want to see if it's instant or not. When I left click, if it's playing instantly or not, because I don't have this feeling, but let's see, because it should really be instant, otherwise you will not have like a smooth, gaming experience. Okay, so so we select this guy again and I click. Yeah, it's fairly the problem is you see, the problem is that now my animation is I mean, this animation, how much time it takes, like boom, like one second or less. I think it takes 1 second or less, and for some reason after maybe 2 seconds this guy dies, right? So the effect is not really good. The effect, I mean, feels like he's dying after a lot of time. Now I would like to understand exactly why is so delayed, but yeah, the other thing I would like to do is to ensure that this guy is respawning, because actually to make more tests we need this guy respawning. So yes, let me make we need another mission, boys. Before anything else, we need the NPC to respawn. Otherwise, it'd be very hard to do any test. So mission, the NPC should respawn after that. Yes. How to do this one? So we actually have the spawn manager, which is responsible for this kind of stuff. The spawn manager is a class that is, so I think when we die, let me check. When we die, there should be an event. No. When I die, print combat result, browser combat results. Yeah, that's okay, but it's not exactly what I was searching for. Okay, it is here. Is here. Broadcast the combat result developer. Okay, so here is where we are handling the death event, and someone died. So here is where we have our event. We send the event to the client, and we broadcast. Okay. Now the problem is that when this happens, I also want to notify a number of other managers, right? And yes, because that event is managed by multiple. I think I have this already somewhere. Wait a second. I have it already. Here it is. So here is basically where we triggered that event, which is inside PS character do damage. And yeah, if the character has no health left after the attack, he dies. And here we are sending this information to NPC manager, which is handling this perception. I don't know exactly what he's doing with this, but we can check. But this is basically the NPC knowing that he died. So he's broadcasting this perception. I think at the moment this could be used maybe only for tribes, because tribes I think have kind of a unity, kind of a group sense. So they know if another member of the tribe died. So I think this perception is the one that we send to the other tribe members. Yes, I think that's the way it is. And so that's fine with me. Then the second one that we are triggering is the one in the combat manager. And the one in the combat manager is the one that we were checking before. And what it's doing, let me check what it's doing. Well, this is actually allocating the damage. So I think that this one is the one that we have to do first, because it's allocating the damage, awarding experience, and all of that. Well, I think it's the same anyway. Well, it's one next to the other. So, but the third one that we are missing at the moment is Actually two. Progression manager and spawn manager. So both of those have to be called. So let me just check what we have in progression manager for handle that event. Okay, we should check that. You will record the frames you animate on the wiki, way. Okay, yes, I think if we leave some documentation on this would be nice. If you want to create an area for art, I don't know if there is already. I think I started something, but then I didn't really continue it. But if you look under Unreal, there should be potentially. Yeah, PS Unreal art, which now is very simple. But okay, you already added something, I see. Okay, nice. You already added something there. Yes. And already added. That is something that you added recently, right? Nice. By the way, you know that on this wiki we have a way to create graphs like this automatically. But anyway, it can also be a picture. It's perfectly fine. Okay, so so very good that you are adding the stuff there, so it's documented and we can reuse it. You know, and other people can reuse it. So inside Progression Manager, there are a few things. Handle that event. I think it's this one. Handle that event. Locate kill damage. I think we had it already, but this one. Oh, really? Okay. This one takes the killer and the dead actor, so exactly like all the others, which is very nice because it means that they are all the same. I don't know what Progression Manager is doing on this, so let me check. Is award experience if the dead actor is an NPC, but why we are calling it twice then? I've seen this already. Progression Manager, handle that event. Combat Manager. Didn't we see exactly the same code? No. No? Okay. I'm a bit confused. So it is broadcasting the results, okay, to all the other clients, and he's sending the message, which is nice. This one is doing the tribes thing, so he's telling the other tribe members that this character died, and the progression manager is actually putting in some kill damage and experience and everything else. Okay, I think that's fine. Then the other one that we want is actually the spawn manager, because the spawn manager is the one that is responsible for reviving the NPC. Unfortunately, I don't see and handle that event. So we should check if in the old code, let me go to the old code, there was maybe something else connected to that. But if we search this one, which is the death event, we should be able to see so this one is the combat manager one, okay, fine. This one is the NPC manager one, and we have it, fine. Okay, this is the spawn manager. So actually, spawn manager has a death handle event. Why was not showing up? Because it was probably private. Okay. I know why. I know why. I think because this one, no, it's public. Okay, I'm confused now. Why if I do, I don't know, spawn manager, spawn manager, boys, not progression. Spawn manager, I think it's private in spawn manager. That's why we don't see it. That's why we don't see it. I'm pretty sure. Open document, spawn manager, handle that event. Yeah, it's protected, you see. So, but all of those will actually we will have to call them. So this has to become public somehow. And in terms of parameters, I think they should be exactly the same as the one that we have, like in spawn manager. Like in, sorry, like in combat manager. Yeah, so APS character killer and dead actor. I think this one is the easiest signature to understand exactly what are the two parameters. So one is the killer and the other is the dead actor. So we should replicate the same thing here. So no, yes, okay. So killer, dead actor, dead event, yeah. So this code we have to tweak a bit, okay? So this should go away. This should be something like this. So I think that all the that something should go away. Okay. Which is under handle. Wow, so many H. Okay, handle that event. So this one, I think that now we can call it, right? I think it should compile okay. Still complaining a bit because I think he didn't feel the change to the header, sorry, to the header file yet. So as soon as he receives this one, I think he should, this error will go away. Okay, so kill by dead actor get unique. Respawning is handled with resurrect event for players and by spawn manager for NPC. Okay. Handle human player dying. Sure, this one should be is NPC equal to false, and this then will be if is NPC equal to true. Yes, this dead count is just a statistics, but for now we are not managing that. Then what do we have? Then we have a resurrect event. For now the players, let's say we can avoid it, okay? So we will not do this. Killing NPC in spawn manager. Remove NPC and queue for respawn. Yes, that's exactly what we want. With the fact that we want the NPC to stay on the ground for some time because he may be looted, you know? So you can loot what he has. That actor handled that. So let me see this kill NPC what he's doing. Kill NPC, bam bam bam. For some reason the parameters are inverted here. The dead actor is first and the killer is next. Okay. So killer killed this guy. Fine. So he's printing out something. If I'm not alive, it does nothing. Otherwise, it set my alive to false. Okay, it's creating the loot, you say? So it's creating the loot of the NPC. And okay, whatever it does here is creating the loot, so which I think is fine. Then what is doing? Check if the killer is owned pet or familiar. Temporarily remove the enemy cast. Then check if the killer is owned pet familiar. This piece of code unfortunately is not converted yet. So I assume that is not very good though. So let's say that, I mean, we can convert this piece, okay? So because we are sure that our killer is anyway an APS character, right? The problem is that APS character get owner I don't understand this. Is there an APS character get owner? No, there is an A actor get owner. Ah, we have an overlap of names. We have an overlap of names, boys, for some reason. We have an overlap, yes. We have an overlap. Because this function exists also on A actor. That is not something that we want. But I'm a bit surprised that... Okay, we can rename it. Okay, we can rename it if it's creating confusion. It's strange that the compiler didn't complain about it. Get owner. In fact, I don't see a get owner here. I don't see it. I don't see a get owner on PS character. Maybe we didn't import that yet. Maybe that's another piece that we are missing. You know? Let me see. Killer get owner. Get owner is on gem object. On gem object, he automatically returns null, which makes sense to me. While on gem pet, for example, there is no get owner in gem pet. Very strange. Maybe there is on gem NPC. I mean, they should be get owner. Okay, it's on gem NPC, which anyway is a superclass of gem pet, so it's okay. So yeah, we have this, and there is a return in the owner. And let me check if we have it also on gem actor. On gem actor, get owner. Get. No, I think it's relying on the one on gem NPC. Okay, it's fine. And I don't think we have this one. Unfortunately, it's clashing with a name that is already in a superclass, so we need to change the name of this function. There is no way, we need to change it, even if it's super simple, but we will call it like get char owner or something like that, right? Get char owner. But this one we have to move in our PS character. We have to move it in PS character. If someone tells me how to put this list in alphabetical order, I will be very grateful, because it's so annoying that it's not alphabetically. You have to search. I know that they do it probably to keep the list of the last two you visited, or to order by last visit, but it's still a bit annoying when you're searching files. So on PS character, we're gonna add APS character, we're gonna add new functions, new function. We can add it. Let's always put it at the end so we know what we did at which time, you know. Even if I have to say that, oh, I have it already. At least I'm consistent with myself, you know. I wanted to call it getChar owner and I already did it. Okay, so I think we can check everywhere in the code where we have this get owner and change it to getChar owner, because otherwise we are making a mess. Let me search for get owner. I would say current project, and we change them all to getChar owner, because otherwise the code is not just doing what, yeah, also here like NPC brain. Now this one I think is correct. We called it get owner. This one I think we can remove actually. It's inside gem object. Let's remove it so it's not messing up with us. This on gem NPC. Let's remove this one as well. I don't want to see those things anymore. If get owner, I think on NPC brain get owner is correct, because it's a function that I created, but on APS character it should be changed. No? Sure. Hey, we should change them all. It's here, man. It's here. Get on. Look at that. Why? Okay. Anyway, IntelliSense is just confusing me sometimes. But get owner on NPC brain is perfectly fine, so we don't care about it. What we want is get owner on the character. But if it's on the NPC brain, it's perfectly fine with us. Okay, there are no others. So there was only that one? Maybe there was only that one. What is happening? Hello? It is Cortana, right? Yes, Windows Assistant. Never used it, by the way. So I think we are fine here. So we'll call it gemchar owner, and we will cast. This is already an APS character, and this will return anyway an APS character. So I think that all of this can just be APS character, and this cast is not needed anymore. So I think this is fine. And then what? So this comment I think we can remove. Owner should be fine. Group owner get group. I don't know why it's checking the group, but it's okay. I don't know. I know there is a logic behind this. Let's keep the logic. I don't know what it's doing actually. PS character distance 2. Actually, our OBJ is already an PS character, so we don't have to cast it again. It's already an PS character, or anyway an actor, so it's fine. Now. Pointer to incomplete class is not allowed. Why is giving me this now and it was not giving it to me before? This kind of interesting. Why is saying that NPC manager is not? We actually don't have NPC manager here. Ah, yes, we have it. Okay, good. NPC manager is actually under NPC client, because this is where all the, let's say, artificial intelligence is. So now this should be fine, and the rest should be fine as well. Now this event we didn't convert yet, but this event I think we need to convert, because it says set the timer for when the NPC will disappear. Hello, princess. How many years you were in programming school? I think 0. Well, actually it's not true, because I did in the university I did some programming courses, but if I tell you which programming courses they were teaching me, you will freaking laugh. Because I was at university, I was in computer science, let's call it computer science university, but they were teaching me at the university, they were teaching me Pascal. You know Pascal? I don't even know. I think you don't even know it exists. They were teaching me Pascal, and in what they were teaching me Pascal, I was already programming in assembler for quite some time. So there was I actually failed this exam. I actually failed this exam because there was an exam where you were programming in Pascal, and my professor, which I really hated, by the way, my professor was convinced that for every cycle you need to write down a mathematical formula to express what you are doing in the cycle. So it was basically a way to validate that that particular piece of code was mathematically correct, which to me was a completely stupid thing. So I don't know. I mean, the code could be read easily without any additional stuff. So he was like forcing us to write down a mathematical formula next to this in a freaking language that he knew or whatever. Maybe it even exists, but. And so when we were programming, we had to do that. So that exam I completely failed, because then I passed it the next session, but the first session I failed because I was kind of refusing to write down the fucking mathematical stuff next to the program. The program was enough. So, but so yeah, they say that they teach me programming, but I was already programming when they were teaching me. So I started to program very early in my life. So I started to program when I was a kid, really a kid. So I was programming. The first thing that I was programming was a huge maze, huge 3D maze in BASIC on Apple IIe. You know the Apple IIe? But obviously it was not 3D because 3D didn't exist at that time. But I was programming on Apple IIe. Does Google no, Google doesn't find it. I see it. Yeah, on this thing I was programming on this one, and I was really small kid, and I was programming on this, and I was programming in BASIC, and the idea was a kind of a layered labyrinth which made it 3D, you know. So there was like a 2D labyrinth. It was like a 2D labyrinth, but was in layers, and so you could go up and down. So that's the first game I programmed in my life, and I think I was probably 7 years old, something like that. I was probably 7 or 6. I don't remember. I don't know because I don't remember, but I was a kid. I was really Small kid. I was barely understanding what I was doing. Really barely understanding what I was doing, but I was kind of doing it. Thanks to another guy that was teaching me, which was a friend of my father teaching me. But I'm not a very good programmer anyway. I don't think I'm a good programmer. I'm just I just did it for a long time. So. Okay. So the thing that we need to do here is the thing we need to do is to transform this event into a real event, because you see this one still doesn't have the U at the beginning, so meaning that the spawn event doesn't actually exist in Unreal yet, so we have to change it. Okay, so let's try to change it quick so that we move on. This one is the one that is, so we should change all the PS, the spawn game event, into UPS blah blah blah, whatever. And why? Because, okay, we found 8. The reason is that all the events that are all the events that are scheduled through a timer in Unreal should be named a specific way. I mean, otherwise the engine doesn't like it. So they need to have U at the beginning, like a U object. You know? It's like an Unreal object. And then I think we have to do the same trick. First of all, we need to understand where is this defined. It's defined here, so it's very easy. It's defined here in the same class. So we will have to make this one. We will have to make this one a real event. I mean an unreal event. Similarly to the other one, which is, for example, item spawn event. Right? So we need to add a U class here at the beginning. We need to have our generated body. We need to do what? We need to ensure that we have an empty constructor, otherwise it will never work in Unreal, because Unreal wants all the objects to have an empty constructor. And then we want to have what we call set parameters, which now we have, I think, on all our events, right? So this will be set parameters, which is a void function taking this as input, right? And then it's setting this as implementation. So here should transform this into this, and then into this, and then we can do, well, gem supervisor actually doesn't exist anymore, so I think that this guy we can just remove it. Yeah, we can just remove it. We don't need this gem supervisor anymore. It doesn't exist in our Unreal. Princess, what you are interested on? Are you interested in gaming? Are you interested in Unreal? What you are interested on? Or are you a plane shift player? Okay, so this should be fine. Now, delay ticks as usual is our where is that? I don't remember. Is our trigger points. No, let's call trigger something. Delay ticks is our delay ticks. So delay ticks become delay ticks. Okay, that's kind of easy. Okay, you want to learn to code professionally? Nice. Do you want to do it with Unreal, or you want to do it with something else? I mean, do you want to do it for gaming, or you want to do it for let's say, a real job? I mean, not that gaming is not a real job, because there are millions of developers which are paid to do gaming. But I mean, let's say gaming or outside gaming. Let's do it this way. Maybe it's better. Ah, you started programming school. Ah, okay, okay. Yeah, I think starting with video games is easy because you immediately understand what you are doing, you know. So there's no theory, there's no theory involved. There is no boring stuff. So it's just stuff that you understand easily. So let's say in delay text, otherwise this guy will say that we are shadowing and all of that. Then PS character obj, I don't know exactly what is it. Supervisor gem, we can remove it. I think it's our entity, right? So we don't need this anymore. I think we need an APS character. Unless UPS game event as, but I don't think so. That he has another variable to keep a character. I don't think so. You want to do both? Okay. Yeah, programming games is very fun, I tell you. But is less fun that you can think about. I mean, that you can think if you never did it. It's pretty hard anyway. So it's fun on the result, but the path to actually make the game can be tough. Yes, I also need to remember the string copy. Yeah? No, but there is no object, so I think it's this one. So this object is actually our entity. So we will do entity equal obj, and what's next? And this spawn manager also we don't need because spawn manager is now a global variable. So we can simplify a lot this function, and yes, and just remove the spawn manager, remove the yes, I know PHP HTML. Yes, we did some sites on that, like our the way we manage the database, which is this application. This application is made by us and by me also partially to manage the database data in a way that is, let's say, easy for us to search and so easy for us to browse. And so we made this website in PHP and HTML. I did many sites in PHP, many. So I know PHP pretty well. I did so many different programs. I programmed also for Android. I programmed for iPhone. I can create applications for iPhone and Android. I did it already. Now I'm not really expert, but I can. I created some apps already. Okay, so find this parameters. So all of that should be fine. The only thing that we need is no, I'm not available. I have a real life job, which is keeping me busy enough. Plus, I have too many hobbies, which keep me very busy. So unfortunately, my time is zero. My available time is zero. Unfortunately, I would like to do more, but I cannot. Okay, so this one we removed, this one we removed, so it should be fine. Let me see if I compile this, what happens. APS character pointer. Well, it should be a pointer. Eh? Why is not a pointer? Should be an APS character pointer. Yes, I have a job, so which is also pretty demanding, I would say. So unfortunately, cannot really obj get. I only wanted to put here the string copy. So this one I think we should completely clear out. Well, we can actually delete it. I'm searching in our PS item spawn event. Probably we didn't do it here. Huh? See you, man. Thanks for watching. Okay, so this one we have and it's done and it should be fine. Now I think we will have to do just after this the respawn event. So like we did the spawn event, we have to do the respawn just after. So let's just do it. So we do both at the same time, and so it's a bit easier. I think we can just do a mass substitution also for the respawn, and it should be exactly the same. So we should do the same operation to despawn and respawn. I don't know why they are actually separate, but yes, obviously they are separate because they happen in different time. They happen in different timing. So we should remove spawn manager. PID of the entity to respawn. I think that's correct, because if the entity is actually being removed from the world, I don't think we can save it, right, in terms of a pointer to a PS character. So I think we need to keep the PID. Yeah, so I think that's correct. Our UPS, so here we have our set parameters, which will be still a void, and we take only yes, delay takes, PID, and spawn rule. Perfect. And so in our CPP, in respawn game event, we will just create this new function, which will become a child of this. We will have in delay takes, player ID, and spawn rule. Do they have the same exact name? Yes. So we will do in player ID and in spawn rule just to avoid the shadowing problem. And at this point we will do this delay takes equal to in delay takes and player ID equal to in player ID and spawn rule equal to in spawn rule. Okay. Now I don't remember the string copy thing. Let me just go and search it for a second. Does string copy need? I don't think it needs the ending, right? Otherwise it would have complained already. So this one we can remove as usual. We can just keep this set parameters. I mean, this design is a bit risky because if we forget to call the set parameters, we will have basically an empty event. But considering that we do it in a very controlled way, I think it should be fine. So UPS, yes, that's okay. Here I can have my UPS the spawn event, and there was another one I wanted to fix. Which is the item spawn event, which I think it doesn't have any. which doesn't have any. Yeah, there is no set. There is no set parameters. There is a set schedule item. I would like to call it set parameters actually, because so all of them will be having exactly the same syntax, which I think is better. So I will change this one as well. And so here our PS item event will have this one, and this one will be set parameters. So we standardize a bit the thingy, and I would like to get my string copy. There it is. Yeah, no, I'm doing a lot of copy paste, but that's the best way to avoid making mistakes, and also is the best way to make mistakes at the same time. At the same time, so okay. So this one is set. This one is set. Now we will have an error when we call the set schedule item, but it's okay. Let's try to recompile and see if those two events now went into place. I hope so. Okay. Sorry, I was distracted by something else. What it doesn't like, I think we are missing a parenthesis somewhere, because it's is really upset. The compiler is really upset. So when this happens, means that we made a bit of a mess. Yeah. It doesn't like this. Why? Why doesn't like this? We made it. The spawn game event. The spawn a game event is, yes, coming from there. We are missing something for sure. We are missing something, but I cannot see what. What are we missing? U class generated body. Our class is correct. Our public UPS game event. The destructor I don't think we need. So. Interesting. Why doesn't like? There is some other error that is happening before that we are not seeing, but let me see. There is some other error which is happening before. The compiler is not okay. There is this one for sure in PS item, and this one I know because I was expecting it. And PS item here, yes. This one is now called set parameters. Right. Then there might be a similar one, yes. Okay. And there might be a few other ones actually, because we are calling this item spawn event for multiple places. Okay, and here is where we were changing the code, so we should probably fix this. So we want to create a new object, and then after we create a new object, we want to new event, we want to set parameters, which is this function we just created, and is expecting the object and the delay. So the delay is here, and the object is here. So much easier than the previous form, huh? Much simpler than the previous form. Look at that. Okay, nice. So this one we did. I think we have, let's recompile. I think we should have less errors now. Okay, still few errors going on. Why? Okay, it's complaining because I removed PS server from, yes, okay. Should we change this now, or should we comment it out? No, I think I would like to change it. I actually would like to change it. So let's do this one, send system error. There are still a few send system error that are remained in this class. I would like to change them all now because I think this send system error should really go away. It's not something that I want to keep anymore. So let's change them all now, okay? At least the one in PS character, because it's giving the error. So get unique ID of myself, right? So because I'm inside PS character, so here what we have to do, we have to just call like this directly, right? And I think there's still a few missing, but okay, here is where we were writing the code before. Okay, perfect. So here what we want to do, we want to call our handle that event, which now it should be visible, right? It's not visible. I didn't compile. It didn't. Why doesn't see it? I moved it to public. Well, actually, I didn't. Actually, I didn't. Now it will take him like 2 hours to parse that, but we know that we need this, and we need the attacker and the dead actor also on this one. Okay. Okay. So all these send system errors, I think I want to change them. Yes. You have been defeated. I'm kind of tired tonight, so maybe I will end the stream slightly earlier, but I want to see some results anyway. I want to see some results. Okay. Still have few errors left, but not too many. Okay, this is the other event that we created. We just converted. So also this one will have the same. We'll have a new event and then set parameters. GG IntelliSense, where the parameters are delay, the player ID, yes, and the spawn rule, yes, and that's it, and nothing else, right? Okay. Then I see there is a problem with one printout. Oh yes, I forgot this one, and I forgot this one as well. Okay, good. The compiler works okay. It's suggesting us the pieces that are missing. Okay, sorry, I'm a bit distracted by other stuff, but I'm here. I'm here. Why doesn't like us? I think there is some stupid error in this code, but I cannot see it because it's giving. Okay, let's go to the output, which as usual is better than just the list of errors, because we can just search, you know, the first error. And spawn manager 1378, why doesn't like it? 1378, which is this one. The spawn event trigger for non-existence of show ID. Ah, yes. Because now entity is a PS character. Okay, fine. So here we need to do something like get PID, unbox something. Okay, fine. He is right as usual. So to unresolved external, there are some external it doesn't like, in particular the constructor of yes. He's always right. He's always right. So we need to despawn event. Yeah, we need to have the constructor, but just empty, and actually we didn't, so we just declared it, but then we didn't do anything in it. So we need to at least declare it as empty. Okay, now we will compile, I think. So we can kill the guy again and see what happens. Obviously, it will not work at the first run, but what I'm expecting is that actually a despawn event is getting called, and yeah, we should probably check the code of the actual despawn, because and then after some time I think that the spawn event is calling a respawn event. So okay, compiled, hot reload, but it's okay. So let me see exactly what this thing is doing. Okay, so the despawn event is taking the entity and this entity is okay. If the entity doesn't exist, it does nothing. Okay, it's fine. If the entity actually exists, it's calling remove NPC. So we should check what remove NPC is actually doing. And let me just go manually because it's just quicker than IntelliSense. So remove NPC. Remove NPC is getting the PID first of all. Okay, is printing this. Now it's checking the spawn rule of the specific NPC and is queuing a respawn. Okay. Which is done here. Yes, perfect. Okay, all of that should be fine. I think this piece of code should work. But no, we have this problem. Remove actor. This one I think is not correct. This one I have the feeling is not something that we did right. Actually we did. So actor destroy. I think it's okay. I think it's okay. This one may work actually. This one may work. So then after we do this, we launch this respawn event, and the respawn event, which is happening after how much delay? Let me just check the delay because respawn get respawn delay. How much time is max spawn time, min spawn time, min spawn time? I think all of this was done in milliseconds, so we should change all of this because our events are in seconds. So I think there is reading the database table which is called spawn rules, I think, and there should be a spawn rules here somewhere. NPC spawn rules, so it is. Yeah, max spawn time. So it is in milliseconds. So everything here is in milliseconds. So we should, just to avoid changing all the database, which is very annoying, we have to keep, we have to divide everything by 1000. So all these numbers automatically become, yes, with 1000 less, but also when we do max spawn time, min spawn time, which I think those are read from the database, we should divide them by 1000. Now the only problem is, where do we do it? I think we do it, the best place to do it is in the constructor, so here, right? I think so. So we divide it by 1000 here, and we maybe place a comment saying the database, now let's say milliseconds in the database and seconds in Unreal. Right? So this is why we divide it by 1000. And so we will have the timing okay. This is just randomizing this time between 10 seconds, and so it's fine. Okay, this should be fine. Now, assuming that, well, I don't know, there is a lot of formulas here, but it's for the spawning location, I think. Object is undefined, yes, because you have to use entity, my friend. So the removal of the NPC, I think, will work okay. The respawn I'm not 100% sure it will work okay, because the respawn will take the delay, which will be another set of seconds, okay, and then it will push this new event, okay, and this new event in the trigger will do spawn manager respawn. Okay, so let's go here and check what this code is doing. Is reloading the data from the database. I don't really know if I like this actually, but really, we are reloading it. I mean, why we have to reload it from the database while we can just take it from memory? I think this one may be a potential optimization. Because loading it again from the database every time a monster is killed is pretty stupid. We can read from cache. I think it's not removed from the cache. But anyway, I'm not going to do it now, but I'll say it is a point where we can improve the performance of the engine. I think. Okay, so we call the respawn, we do all of this, we count, blah blah blah, we determine, blah blah blah. Determine spawn location. Well, the spawn location should be the same as the one before, but I think it's okay. Okay, here we have some mess, because here is trying to... Yeah, this code is still not ported, unfortunately. So, spawn through the master location. Up to here is fine, but here unfortunately is not fine. Because sector will be always empty. And then what he's trying to do is trying to find nearby entities. Why is doing this? Nothing in the near list of spawn position is okay. Okay, so he's trying to see if there is already another NPC at the same location. And yeah, you see, we are trying for random position. We try 4 times before. Yeah, so he's trying multiple times now. I think that the sector itself, find nearby entities, I think we have a substitution for this one, right? Yes, we do. We have this one. We should work in theory already. So we have, the only problem is that we need a world, but world we can get from spawn manager, so from ourselves. There is a current world, get authentication mode, and plane game mode, find nearby entities, yes. And this find nearby entities is taking as parameters the sector, which for now I think it can just be a 0. And then the position, the instance, the radius. So the position is fine. The instance, I have no idea. The instance should be 0 as well. The radius is this one, and then the do invisible. So here I think we should place a you fix me was sector, because I don't know when, but maybe in the future we will have the sectors and we will try to find only people in the same sector. And this part I think we can also No sectors for now. Okay, so what we will do, we will ignore the sectors completely. We will just let's say find nearby entities with this function in a certain radius, which I hope is in centimeters. What does this mean, spacing distance actually? What should be the free space around the spawn position before it's accepted? Yes, but how do you define it, boy? How do you define it? That's my question. Because mean spacing, initialize, spawn rule initialize is basically done when we initialize the spawn rule, but who is doing this? Is it in the database as well? Spawn time, spawn odds, fixes spawn, spawn instance with category. Yes, it's here. Mean spawn distance. Okay, this one is in meters, so this is the one that we need to. Should we do it in the initialization? Yes, I think we should. So here we will say something like multiplied by 100, and we will say meters in the database, centimeters in Unreal, so that's why we multiply by 100. So that should also be fixed. We have the same here, the same issue here, because all these numbers I think are assuming this is a meter. Unfortunately, no, I think so. I think it is within 1 meter. All these functions are assuming that we are speaking in meters, but we are not. Let me multiply all of those by 100 because I mean, I'm not 100% sure, but with the fact that all these functions are reasoning in meters. But yeah, but basically the old engine was all reasoning in meters, so I think we need to do this. Otherwise we will spawn like 1 millimeter, 1 centimeter from the initial position. Also, all these ranges create single loot. No, okay, this is okay because it's randomizing between 0 and 1 just to. Was it the same above? This one I don't know. This one I'm not sure because I don't want to multiply twice, and this means that this becomes, yeah, I think it is the percentage within 2 meters. I think it is the percentage between a 2 meters radius. I mean, why is doing 0. So it's doing a percentage roll and multiplying it by the radius, multiplied by 2. No, but the radius is already in centimeters because we changed it above. So if I do 200 here, I'm multiplying it by 1000, so it would be kilometers. So here I think it's fine because we have this one that is already expressed in centimeters, but here I'm not sure. It's picking a position with x plus. No, I think it's correct. I think I should not do this. Should not do it because there is just the percentage that it then multiplies by the actual coordinate. So yeah, I think it's fine. It's fine as it was. I think it's fine as it was. So let's go back to what we were doing. We were checking if the respawn, right? The respawn was working okay, and the respawn was doing, yes, actually respawn, and the respawn was, so we were here, right? Yes, we were here. So we search all the nearby entities, and I think this one is fine. This one should be an array of APS characters, by the way. What is finding by entity returning? What is this returning? Is it returning? No, is returning for whatever reason is returning an A actor. Okay, fine. It's returning an A actor and then it's checking just the position, I guess, right? Okay. Okay, I think I understand this. And then we go to respawn. Okay, respawn is down here. And respawn is again working on sectors, which is something that we don't really care about, actually. So I think this we should no sectors for now. Then the set location in world, I think we don't really need it anymore. Are we using this or we are not using this anymore? I don't think we are using this anymore. Because this one was the old way to do it. Well, we also have to update the DB. Yeah, no, actually we need it because this thing is updating. So after we respawn, we are updating the database with the new location, right? So this to me still makes sense. Hello, Sand, how are you? Yeah, a lot of C++, my friend, a lot of C++. You don't like it? I did a calculation yesterday and we have 140,000 lines of code. 140,000 lines of code already ported. You don't want to use C++? Yeah, I think it's a good starting point. I mean, to try not to try to do everything you can with the blueprints and with the Unreal functionality. I think it's a good way to think. And then only if you need it, only if you really need it, you will go with. No, it's just written code. I mean, it's the sum of all these classes. The sum of all these classes that we have at the moment is 100 is this, you see? That is, I printed it, I downloaded a program that tells you how many lines you have. I don't know if you can see it easily, but this is the total. So is 89,000 lines of actual code, 28,000 of comments, which some are stuff like this. So not real code or code is commented out, and 20,000 as blank lines. Blank lines meaning spaces, you know, between, because obviously you have a lot, like between each method you have 1 or 2 blank lines. But it's pretty big. I would say, start to be something, you know. 100. I think in the old plan shift we have more than 1 million, but I don't think we really need to go to 1 million at the moment. I think that what we ported is probably already, I mean, I don't want to say, but I think it's already like 70% of what we need. Because the problem of the old plan shift was that there was a lot of UI. You know, all the UI was coded, so we had all the scroll bars coded in C++, all the whatever, all the slots, all the inventory window, every window was coded in C++. So all of that now we do in blueprints. And so that's blueprint code. I don't know how to calculate the blueprint code, but it would be interesting to calculate how much blueprint we have. That would definitely be interesting. So what are we doing here? We are setting the location, blah blah blah, and then we are creating the NPC. Okay, I think this create NPC is the one that we actually use. Yes. This one is the good one, I think. No, actually not. Because this one is not the one that we need to call. We need to call this one. No, we don't need to call this one as well. I think we need to redo this function because this function we never call. So yeah, this function we never really call the way it should be called, because we spawn. We need to. I have to think how to do this, because actually this create NPC is doing nothing, because we do it in this function, in load NPC character data, and it's not really the best thing. It's not really the best thing. Calculating, fuck it. Now the way we did it is hurting us, because I decided to put everything in one method, but this method is actually not doing what, I mean, it's doing stuff but not the way it should be done, because it's bit all inside of this. And so the best way for us probably will be to move this code to create NPC. Because all of this we need to do, all of this we need to do, all of this we need to do. There is the actual spawning of the actor. This is where we create the actor in the world. So this we need to do as well. Well, it's not that long, but thinking to... Okay, let me try. Let me try to do something. Let me try to do... Let me try to do for NPCs count. So if I take from here down, right? Chart data. This code is a bit of a mess, if I can tell. is a bit of, because in theory I should take from there to here only and make it a function and then pass the result to this load, which is anyway needed, you know. Then after the load I have again this part that I need, so it's a bit of a mix. I think I need to redo this part because it's very messy. Is when I wanted to have the NPC loaded, and so I was like, yes, show me the first NPC online, please. And so I was like, you know, putting down code just to have it, just to see something on screen, but it's a bad idea. The problem is that this piece of code is done in is made of 3 phases. Phase number 1 is the spawn of the actor. Phase number 2 is the loading of the data inside the spawned actor, which is this one. And phase number 3 is kind of the post, you know, the post load initialization, which is this stuff. And I really don't want this to be in 2 different places. I want this to be in one place only. Now the problem is, how the hell do I separate the 3 phases considering the integration that there is here? So we do a character creation and character creation post setup, something like that. And we take in the post setup this piece. Actually, I don't know if this can be done earlier anyway. What if I do it? No, because I think he needs this data. No, I think he needs this data. Before doing this, he needs this data loaded. Yep. But maybe, you know, we can move this inside load. So of 3 phases, we actually make 2 phases only. Right? 2 phase, yeah. So this one, let me see what it does. NPC trigger load. No, come on. It's funny when IntelliSense is giving you reference to the wrong place, you know, the wrong code. Now I kind of lost myself, but it was inside character loader. Which is not here. Yeah, this part requires some rework, and I think I should do it now. I don't think I should delay it because it will get messy, more messy if I ignore it. If I ignore it, it will get worse, you know. And so I really need to do it. And the best way so this one should be under PS character load. So why we don't put these 4 things into PS character load? I don't know if there is any problem with that. because obviously changing the sequence of this stuff may really mess up things, right? So I want to do it only if I'm really 100% sure. But I mean, this thing is doing so much already. It's loading inventory, it's loading faction, it's loading variable, it's loading merchant information, it's loading trainers, it's loading spells. And then he assigns a brain to the NPC. Then displays this part. Okay. I think we should put that code here and see what happens. I mean, it's a bit risky if you ask me, because it is. Because we don't know if this load function is called by multiple other functions, and so we are basically doing that code twice or 3 times, you know. So we should check. Maybe what we can do, we can put a breakpoint here and see if we are calling this also from the outside. But I think what I want to do now, I would like to take this piece and move it to here, and maybe we can put a you fix me, check if this code is okay. We moved it from load all NPC character data, and obviously here will be without this, because here we are inside the character, right? So I'm not fully happy about this, but I'm not fully I mean, I think it's the right way, but I don't know if he has an impact, you know, on the rest of the code. So we will have to test it out. So now our 3 phases became only a 2 phase. So is spawning the actor and loading the data. So maybe what we could do, we could make this first phase another function. Yeah, we could make this one another function, and so this one would be very clean. It would be like create. No, I think we can call it spawn actor, something like that. Just call it spawn actor, and then okay, let's do this. How do I do it though? Should it be in character loader or should it be in? I think it should be in spawn manager. This piece, I think it should be in spawn manager. The problem is, in spawn manager, do I already have a spawn actor? Because I don't want to confuse myself, you know. Well, actually, we have a respawn, but we don't have a spawn. So we could have a new function called spawn actor. Put that piece there. Okay, let's try. I'm not fully happy about this, but okay. So we will call it spawn. Should we call it spawn actor, or what are we doing? We are actually spawning the actor, yes. So we should call it spawn actor. Yeah. Okay, let's try. Spawn actor. I don't know which parameter it takes. I have no idea. We will sort it out soon. So in spawn man, this should be a public function though. Huh? Yes, it's public. Okay. So we go in spawn manager, and we go at the bottom of spawn manager, which is here. No. No. Yes, which is here. And we create a new function which is called spawn actor. And this will be new, huh? It will be only for Unreal because we don't have this in the old code, so it will be a bit of a, you know, it will be the first fork, I would say. So then we copy all this code in here, and we want to return, yes, this is what we want to return. We want to return chart data, so the return will be an APS character, right? The return will be an APS character, and so this way I think will be much cleaner because we can call this so spawn manager, spawn actor. Now we need to figure out which parameters we need. We need the NPC mesh, and we need the NPC ID. These are the two things that we need. So the spawn actor will actually be, so here we can call, so our phase one will become spawn manager, spawn actor of this, and then this, and hopefully we don't need anything else. No, we need a mass of other parameters. We need also, where is all this stuff coming from though? Ah, it's coming from the query. Yes, it's coming from the query. Okay. I mean, fine. I mean, we need to pass all those parameters anyway, so there is no way. We have to pass all these parameters. So will be, to you is all C++? What do you mean? To you is all C++, meaning that reading it doesn't really make a difference to you, like it looks all the same, or? So this will be our spawn actor, and this means they will take, can we have the ID before the mesh? I think is a bit clearer. I think we have the ID, then the mesh. So, okay. Surely I can add spawn manager, is not a problem. Surely I can. So now what? Now what? What time is it? It's nearly midnight. I think. Well, it's not really midnight, but I think I will end the stream a bit earlier today because I need to recover some sleep. So here, spawn actor will need to have. Our ID, which is an integer, so int ID. Then it needs f-string mesh. We can just call it like this, I think it's okay. So then we need float. Yes, float. Location X, location Y, location Z. And that's it at the moment. Then we can put more parameters as needed, but for now that's the only thing that we need. So this signature should go in our spawn manager, and so now we can delete all of this. We can delete all of this. Okay, and the same here. So this became variables instead of properties that we are reading. So this just became parameters to our function, right? I mean, we are not doing much in this function actually. We're just spawning the actor in the right location with the right race, but I think it's okay. I mean, I think it's what we need, right? I think it's what we need. I think it's what we need. We don't do rotation. Why we don't do rotation? Why we don't do rotation? We need to do. Yeah, in fact, I was saying here, do rotation as well. Yeah, we need to do rotation. Okay, we'll do rotation, but not now. Now, that is complaining. Pre-game helper is complaining that it doesn't have a pre-game helper thingy. Okay, we can actually add it here to our includes. Not a problem. And what else? So this one should go away. Yes, this error should go away. So spawn actor should be fine. Should be fine. Now we need to call it from here, and actually we do it. Then we load the data, fine, and that's it. So and this way, with 2 lines, basically we have our character loaded, which is much cleaner, you know. So what we can do now from our respawn function, which is the one we were trying to do, right? We were trying to have our character respawn after being dead. So there are actually 2 respawn. I'm not sure which one we are using. There is a respawn that takes a player ID and a spawn rule. And there is one which takes a character data, instance ID, vector, rotation, and sector. So is one calling the other, or so respawn is loading here? Ah, yes, we have seen it before, right? Yes, one is calling the other. So we will always call this one, which for some reason is reloading from the database, which I don't really love, but okay. And then yes, so instead of calling this create NPC, which I think we will not use anymore, and I think we should comment it out with a U comment though, otherwise we will forget so quick. Replace the create NPC with spawn actor plus load. Right? So we basically replace this function. So in this case we have to just check if this is okay. If it is okay, we can then leave it forever. Now how do we call this? We call it in the same way. We call it in the same way we are calling this, with the difference that we take like character data, get PID, unbox will be our ID, and then character data get string mesh. I don't know what is the Why we don't have get string mesh? Don't have it. That's the problem. Maybe it's mesh name. We have a get mesh, but it's not the one we want. Where is this stored actually? Let me check. So if I go in character loader and I go in character ps character load, at a certain point here we should set, the problem is that is so much code that I need to, but at a certain point here I think we should set our mesh. No, if we don't have it, is a problem. We have mesh, but for the equipped items, not for our character. This is kind of annoying. So we never register in our character that variable because we just create the mesh from it. Not good. So but I need it. There's no way. I need it. I need it because it's the one that I use for for finding the mesh. So I need it. Where do we get it from? Because the location is easy. I mean, the location we just get it from, I think, if I go something like chart data, get location, and then yes, get location, and then lock, and then X. Right? I think this is my location X. Hopefully this get location has been set already, because I'm not 100% sure. But this one I have it here, sorry. I'm stupid. This one we have it here already. Is where X, Y, and Z. So these three we have. We don't need to get them again. Is where X, Y, and Z. The only problem I have is the mesh, because the mesh we are not saving it. We are not saving it anywhere. I think when we do the load, so we start from the database. We load all the data. I think we have it before calling this. Yes, I think we have it in our character loader. Before calling this, we have it here. The problem is that this one is coming from the database direct. And so when the character is already created, well, what we could do, because actually we know the mesh before it dies. No, I mean after it died, I mean we can obviously take the name of the mesh we need to respawn. That's okay, but so it means that I will have to do two different spawn actor, one that we call when we load from the database, and one when we are respawning in game, which is bad. I don't like it. I would like to have this information exactly the same between the two. Exactly the same between the two. I like to have it exactly the same. How do I do this? I take it, so, or I set this variable. It's a bit stupid that I don't have it. I really don't like the fact that this is not saved anywhere. I find it so annoying. Yeah. But I think we didn't save it because actually it was not needed, and so that's why we didn't save it. There is a mesh name inside raceinfo. Okay, so maybe that's the one that we... Yeah. I think that's enough probably for us. That's enough. Let me see. PS character load, spawn manager, respawn. So if I do character data, get race info, right? And then from race info, I try to get the mesh name. I think it's this one. So we solved it. I think it's this one. So we should do this. And then after this, we should call load. Exactly like we do there. Chart data load fuck it. The problem is but I think we loaded this already, so why we are doing it again? Because we have a character loader load character data, okay, and then we have a character loader character load character data. Let me check, because this one, what is doing? It's actually doing the query again, huh? No, but it's doing character data load, so this one is doing it already. It's doing it already. So we don't have to do it again. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So I think it's fine. So here we reload it from the database. Then we determine all this stuff. Then we go here. Then we do all of this, which I guess is needed. And then we just spawn the character, and that's it. I think we should test it though. We should test if this works or not. Unfortunately, it's getting late, and I'm getting a bit tired actually. So because I traveled quite a bit today, I did like 600 kilometers by car. So I think I will close the stream here. I will test. I mean, I will finish this compilation, and I will also change the name of the stream because unfortunately NPC are not fighting back yet. I will just call it Death Animation and Respawn. And I hope that we can... Tomorrow evening I'm actually not streaming because tomorrow evening I'm going out. So maybe I can stream late at night when I'm back. Otherwise I will stream Saturday afternoon, but the objective at the moment is to have the death animation playing when the character dies. I think we can consider that we did it because actually we can see the death animation. Yes, but this mission is the one that we are working on, so that the NPC should respawn after that, and we found some issues in the code that had to be fixed before this could actually work. Okay. And so yes, I don't need this anymore. And so we need I just need to fix small remaining errors, I don't think it's too much, and then test this piece, and I think we can test it or tomorrow evening, very very late, I would say around 2 a.m. or something like that, if I have still the willingness to do something after I'm coming back, or Saturday afternoon. Okay guys, so with that I will go for now. So thanks for watching, and I will speak to you soon. See you boys, we can do this.